Tutors. Thank you guys for showing up live, and we are a Yan. What's up? How you doing? We about to start right now, and I wanted to today to I wanted to take some question to answer for you guys today, as well as probably showing you some stuff that I let me set this up on Instagram. Yeah, I wanted to answer some questions for you guys today, as well as showing you some stuff that maybe showing you um some matrix multiplication maybe. Mostly answering some of your questions, guys. We are live on Facebook, uh in uh in the group, in the private group, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All right, cool. So if you have any questions, type it in the chat. What I wanted to do mainly is take in some questions for you guys to answer, maybe some questions to answer next time, some of the stuff that you're having trouble with. I know some of you guys just started school recently, so I wanted to also take some questions to answer for y'all. If you started school recently, if you're still in school, I wanted to answer some of your questions. Let me see what we have. um hey, what's going on, Kate, Sky, what's up? Yeah, so let me set this up. BCM, what's up? Caesar, what's going on? Yeah, let me set this up, and so I can get started with it. Um, I see Ava, what's going on? Welcome. Hey, what's up? Hey, you guys on Instagram to welcome. If you want to see the screen, the best way to do that is to go to our YouTube channel to see the screen. That's the only way you'll be able to see it. If you are like on Instagram or TikTok, that's the only way to see the screen. Just go to the YouTube channel and see it. Last time, here's some of the stuff that we saw last time. So last time when we were here, we were talking about we saw things related to solving system of equations. I show you guys two ways to do it. Um, there's a third way. I mean, that you can also do it too. That I was telling you, by graphing the equations, graphing each one of them and see where they meet. So that's another way to solve the equations. Um, let's see. Let me see who's popping it. Yeah, so that's the third way to solve the equation. So let me ask, what are you guys doing right now in class that you want help with? Um what are you guys doing in class that you want help with, that I could probably write down and then help you with next time? And Alicia, welcome. Bid, welcome. Yeah, so what you doing in class right now that you want help with? If not, we're gonna get started probably doing maybe some matrix multiplications. I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. I'm not sharing my screen yet. Uh, so so what you guys are working on right now that you need help with? The other way that I could probably go on the third way that we can solve. Um, Let me share the screen on Facebook, and as well as Instagram. I mean, on YouTube. Okay, the third way that I was saying that you could probably solve for your the third way that you can probably solve the equation that we saw last time on this page is by graphing it. I don't think I showed you guys how to do that. Let me go back on the equation. I use my pen. I'm gonna go back on the equation and show you guys the third way that we can solve for it. So as you saw, for me, it was, in this case, actually, it was easier to, when you had 2x plus y is equal to 3, negative x plus 3y is equal to, can you go over vectors? Okay, cool, nice. So negative x plus 3y is equal to 2. The third way that I say that we could do that is by graphing those, just graphing the first one and then solve it, and then plot it on the Cartesian graph, and then graph the second equation and plot it again on the Cartesian graph, and then wherever they meet, that's what the solution is. And this one is easy enough where we can do it. So we have 2x plus y is equal to 3. 2x plus y is equal to 3. And what's the second equation that we had? The second equation is negative x plus 3y is equal to 2. Negative x plus 3y is equal to 2. Now, to continue what we're doing, if you guys have trouble hearing me, let me know. I think the mic is set up properly, but if you have trouble hearing me in the mic, let me know. So to continue what we're doing, the other way that we can solve for this is, graphing each equation. So the first equation, how do we graph this? So we need y is equal to mx plus b, that formula. So that's what we need to do. So how do we solve for y here? So 2x plus y is equal to 3. That implies y is equal to what? So let me put this somewhere else so you can understand what I'm doing. Let me change color maybe. So 2x plus y is equal to 3. Now I want to solve for y, so I have y here plus a 2x, so I can take 2x, negative 2x from this side, minus 2x from that side of the equality 2. So on this side, on the left side of the equation, I have y, because the 2x is gone. On the right side, I have is negative 2x plus 3. And if you want to plot things, the easiest way to do it is saying that is just choosing 2 points and then you plot them on a graph. And that's the easiest way to do it. So maybe we'll leave this one right here, and then we're going to solve for y on this equation, and then after that we're going to plot both of them. So let me use a different color, maybe blue for example, to solve for y here. So we got negative x plus 3y is equal to 2. So I want the y to be by itself. So on the left side, I have a negative x here. I got to get rid of that. So I have 3y, and actually, let me not skip steps so you understand. So I add x to both sides, plus x. So I have 3y, and the x is gone, is equal to 2 plus x, or x plus 2, however you want to say it. So now I'm solving for y, right? So what I need to do is divide both sides of the equality by 3. So to leave y by itself, I got to divide this side of the equation by 3. I also got to divide this side of the equation by 3. So what I have is y is equal to 2x, 2 plus x, or x plus 2. That's a different way to put it. X plus 2 divided by 3. Now, what else? How else can we write this? We can also write this as, if you want to see the screen, the best way to see it is to go to YouTube. So how else can we solve this? We can also write this as y is equal to 1/3 of x plus 1/2 plus 1/2. Okay. Now, 1/3, 2/3 actually, not 1/2, 2/3. Yeah. So now, how are we going to plot these two equations? We have two equations here, and we're going to plot them on a graph. So we'll plot these two equations on a graph. So how do we do that? So we're gonna choose 2 points and then just plot each one of them. So let's say we have a Cartesian graph here. Use a different color for no reason at all to make the graph. Maybe I should have used my straight line tools. All right, cool. I think this should do it. All right, so what we have is the Cartesian graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of those marks, guys, you can see is 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna write it so it doesn't get messy. So the first point I want to plot is it's always easy to plot to put in 0 in those. So I want to put 0 here. So x is equal to 0. Let's say x is equal to 0, and this one is in black. I want to plot it in black. So let's say x is equal to 0. So we have y is equal to negative x, y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. So we have, let's say we say that x is equal to 0. What is the value of y? So I plug in 0 here for this. So 2 times 0 is 0. And y is equal to 3. So I have the point x is equal to 0, y is equal to 3. 1, 2, 3, right? This is the point right here. Now I need another point to make the line. So you need 2 points to make a line, at least 2 points to make a line. So I'm going to plug in a different point. So the other point that's easy as I'm looking at this is probably 1, right? If I plug in x is equal to 1, what's the value of y? So we know y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. So I replace x by 1. That means negative 2 times 1 plus 3. So negative 2 plus 3, and y is equal to 1. So we have the point 1, 1, right? Okay, so that's the point 1, 1. Ironically, this is the point where the graphs meet. Okay, so let me use my line tools probably to draw this point. Let me use my line tool so that way we draw a nice looking point. This is not it. So, all right, so let's draw this line. Ooh, this is not what I wanted to do. All right, that's not what I wanted to do. Straight lines. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to draw the straight line right here. Actually, it goes to the point 0, 3, and then it goes to the point 1, 1. X is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So yeah, I think this should be good. So that's the line. This is the line. This is the line. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 3, right? Okay, let me not be messy and erase all of those probably. And then draw the second line in blue. So we're going to use we're going to draw the second line in blue. So how do we draw the second line that's in blue? Let me see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, this is live. So how do we draw the second line in blue, right? So how do we draw the second line? So we want to draw the second line in blue. We have y is equal to 1/3 of x plus 2/3 of plus 2/3. So the other way that we can draw this is saying, actually probably easier to write it this way. Y is equal to, let me erase some of those so you can see. So let's say we have y is equal to x plus 2 divided by 3. One point that I know for sure will satisfy this equation is the point 1, 1, because when we did this last time, we know if x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So we know the point 1, 1 will satisfy this equation. So how do we verify that? So we say that we replace x by 1. So x is equal to 1. So what that would imply is 1 plus 2 divided by 3 is equal to 3 divided by 3, which is 1. And then that's kind of like a cheat way to do it because we already know the solution. But we know the point 1, 1 will satisfy this equation. So that means the line, this line right here, passed through the point 1, 1. What's another point that this line passed through? What's another point that this line passed through? So if we want to know another point that this line passed through, let's go. Let's plot in a point. I could put maybe 4. The reason why I'm choosing 4, and I'll tell you guys, and I could choose negative 2 as well. The reason why I'm choosing 4 is because I want this to look nice. When I plug in a number, I want to get a number out. I don't want to get an integer. So I could have that's why I choose 1, 2. So when I add the 1 plus the 2, I got 3. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. The other point that I can choose is negative 2. Negative 2 here plus 2 is negative 2. Plus 2 is 0. 0 divided by 3 is 3. Actually, let's choose that. That's probably a little bit easier. Negative 2, x is equal to negative 2 plus 2. And I'm using this equation, by the way, divided by 3. That's 0, right? Y is equal to 0. So x is equal to -2, y is equal to 0. How do we plot this point? -2, x is equal to -2, y is equal to 0. So these are the negatives, as you can see. X is equal to -2, y is equal to 0. It's this point right here. So that's -2 right here. Oh, now we're going to draw the line. How do we draw the line? I'm going to use my line tools to draw it so it doesn't look messy. I think this should do it. Nope, not this one. Maybe I should start this way. Yeah, I think this should do it. It's close enough. No. Yeah, this is close enough, but yeah, you get the idea. So what we did here, we draw the line y is equal to x plus 2 divided by 3. And we'll also draw the line -2x plus 3. And then after we found those, we draw those lines, and we after we draw both of those lines, we saw where they meet, and that's the solution to the equation. That's the third way to solve for this. I showed you 2 ways last time. This time I show you a third way. Now, from this question, you can get a lot of other questions, like if you can get they can ask you, they can give you a line and ask you to draw to write the equation of a line that's parallel or perpendicular to that line, and that passes through a certain point. They can from those, they can give you those questions. So but this is like the foundation of solving the system of equations. Any questions? There's different ways that you can write those equations. So you have, of course, have the y is equal to mx plus b, and I want to start showing you different forms of the equation. And I want you to understand that those are not, they're not coming out of nowhere. Especially sometimes they ask you to memorize them. Sometimes you don't know where they're coming from, but I'll show you a little bit of, not a trick, but it's like algebra manipulation. So if I subtract -b, if I take away -b from both sides here, so what I have is y is equal to y minus b is equal to mx, right? So that's another way to write the equation. And then if you have an equation, so let's say you have the equations y minus, so that's another way to write this. And if you want to solve for x was equal to y minus b divided by m. M would be the slope of the line, and y, you know what y is. B is the intercept. So there are different ways that you can write this. If you manipulate this equation well enough, what eventually you're gonna end up with the slope intercept form, or the form that the regular form, however you could call it. If you manipulate this equation well enough, you'll find it. It's not coming out of nowhere. So that's what I want you to understand. The other equation that's very important too is understanding the fact that is when you're calculating the slope, is rise over run. So it's y minus ya divided by x minus xa. So from this equation, we can find different ways to write the equation. From there, you can solve for y. You can also solve for x. So if you wanted, you can write it this way too. You can write it y minus ya is equal to m multiplied by x minus xa. So this is another form that you can write it. So the way that I do this is I multiply both sides of the equation by x minus xa. So this one cancels out, and then x minus xa here. So they might use different notation for those. They might use A and B, whatever they use, but it's the same concept. It's the same concept. It's not something different. I don't want you to see the other formulas and think that's something different. So from this equation, you can derive a bunch of other equations. From here, actually, if I wanted to solve for y, I can solve for y, and just by adding ya to both sides of the equation, the equality. All right. So let me see if you guys have any questions. Um, okay. So for quadratic equation, usually I see a question about quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, usually it's written as a x squared plus bx plus c, and if it's an equation, you're gonna set that equal to 0. So if you write it this way, it should be the form that they ask you for. So if you're writing it this way, this should be the form that they're asking you for. So ax squared plus bx plus c. So that's normally how you write it's equal to 0 because it's an equation. Um, okay, translation equation. Um, Give me some more detail on what you're asking for. Now, if you have an equation, let's say you have an equation, let's say you have an equation y is equal to 2x plus 3, for example. If you translate, if it's translation up and down, left and right, um, this won't this the slope of this equation will not change. The only thing that will change is the intercept, and I'll show you graphically what that means. So you can understand what I'm saying. So let's say that I have an equation. So this is the Cartesian graph. So I have an equation here, a line here. So if I translate this line up to this, let's use a different color, black line. So let's say I translate this up to this black line. The slope of this line doesn't change. The slope is going to be the same as the red line. If I move it down here, the slope is going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is the point where they intersect. Cool. All right. So let me see if you guys have any other questions. Any other questions, guys? Anything that I didn't cover? I saw someone asking something about vectors too. I think I saw someone asking about vectors. If you still here, let me know so I can see if I can. I think you had your questions was first, so I can see if I can cover some of those things that about vectors that you probably encounter in class or in your exam, or the most common ones. Addition, scalar multiplication. Um, yeah. So if you still here, let me know. Cool. I don't think I see any other questions, guys. Let me see. So Claire, did you if you still here, let me know if you understand what I was saying about quadratic equation. Cool. I think this should do it. This is probably gonna do it for the night. If you have any questions, if you're part of the if you're taking the course, actually, if you're taking the course, you can there's a way that you in the course you'll see a way that you can send questions to me prior to me coming live, and then I'll answer them to you. If you and you know if you're not in the course, or your parents didn't take the course for you, um I'll may possibly some of the stuff that I cover is some of it, you probably encounter them in your school. But other than that, if you're in the course, if you're dealing with something specific, you can either um, reply in the course. What's up, Jess? Welcome back. You can reply in the course. If you're taking any of the courses that we have, you can reply in the course. That's the easiest, fastest way to get access where I can look at it. And then before I go live, I'll show you, I'll find a way to find the best way to explain it to you. And then when we go live, we can do it together. Hey Kiki. Welcome. Yeah. So, guys, I think this is it. And if you don't have any other questions, I think this should be it. And we'll see you guys next time. And thank you for stopping by. And I think that's it. That's it for you for tonight, guys. Thanks.